So, you've probably heard the term design thinking thrown around a lot, right? From startups to huge corporations, it's everywhere. But what if I told you that the way we talk about it today, well, it kind of misses the whole point of where it all started. Let's dig in and uncover the real story.
Yeah, these days, design thinking often feels like just another business buzzword. You know, it's sold as this neat 5-step checklist or a workshop full of colorful sticky notes that's supposed to magically unlock innovation. But that popular view is missing something really crucial.
And this is the core idea we're going to unpack. Believing that design thinking is just some simple step-by-step process isn't just a misunderstanding, it can actually block the very innovation it's meant to spark.
I mean, this quote really nails it. When you treat it like a rigid recipe, you kill the very things you need most for real breakthroughs: fluency in your thinking and flexibility in your approach. So to really get its power, we have to go back, way back to the beginning.
Our story doesn't start in a modern-day boardroom. Nope. It starts at Stanford University, back in the middle of the 20th century. And this wasn't some flash of inspiration. It was a slow, collaborative evolution of a really powerful idea.
This idea grew over decades. Seriously, it kicked off in the late 50s as a humanistic philosophy. Then it expanded into new businesses through the 60s and 70s, and finally, it got integrated with business practices and got the name we all know today.
And just look at this map. Wow. It really shows you how deep these roots go. This wasn't one person's light bulb moment. It was a whole ecosystem of courses that brought together engineering, art, business, and, this is key, psychology.
The person who really started it all was Professor John E. Arnold. He was this fascinating mix of an engineer and a psychologist. And back in 1957, he created a program that was intentionally interdisciplinary from day one. He even brought in giants of psychology like Abraham Maslow. Okay, so this brings us to the foundational insight. Before design thinking was ever a business tool, it was a philosophy, a way of thinking about creativity that was all about human values and human needs.
You can see it right here in his own words from 1959. For Arnold, the whole point of this work wasn't just about making cool stuff. It was about understanding and solving fundamental human needs. Creativity had to serve people. Period.
And the goal? It was to create a brand new kind of problem solver they called the comprehensive designer. Think about that. This isn't just an engineer or an artist. It's someone who can blend all of it: creativity, analysis, strategy, to tackle really complex challenges. So, if that's the goal, to create these amazing problem solvers, how did they actually do it? Well, and this is so important, they didn't just hand people a rigid method. It was all about cultivating a specific set of qualities and building a supportive environment. First up was the mindset, the internal stuff. The whole curriculum was designed to develop these attitudes: a questioning mind, being open to new things, feeling confident. You see the pattern? The focus was on shaping how you think, not just teaching you what to do. It was about building that internal creative engine first.
But having the right mindset is only half the battle. The environment you're in is just as important. Arnold and his team knew that creativity gets crushed by fear and conformity, so they focused intensely on building psychological safety, a place where people felt free to experiment and try things without being terrified of making a mistake.
Now, when you see a slide like this, your brain probably screams, "Aha, a checklist," right? But here's the twist. Its creators saw this completely differently. These are never meant to be rigid, one after the other steps. They were flexible mindsets, different modes of thinking you could jump between as you need it. So what happens when you put it all together? You take that creative mindset and you place it in that supportive, safe environment. You get something so much bigger than just one person's great idea. You start to build a culture of innovation that can spread across a whole team or even an entire company. This slide just lays it all out perfectly. On the left, you've got the watered-down version we often see today: rigid steps, specific tools, and a fear of mistakes. But on the right, that was the original, richer vision. It was all about flexible attitudes, human values, and creating that psychological safety where real collaboration can happen. And that, right there, is the ultimate takeaway. The real story of design thinking isn't about following a checklist. It's about the deep, intentional work of building a creative culture, an environment where people have the values, the abilities, and the confidence to solve emerging problems together. That was the original vision, and honestly, it's more relevant today than ever.